guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriorstrade chat said, "What is going on, basketball fans? Stop what you're doing because the Golden State Warriors have just flipped the NBA upside down again. This isn't a minor roster tweak. This isn't some fringe rotation guy being swapped for another. No, this is a straight-up blockbuster. A stunning, eye-popping, jaw-dropping trade that has everybody talking. The kind of move that makes you refresh your feed 5 times just to make sure it's real. And yes, it's real. The Golden State Warriors have officially pulled the trigger on a deal to acquire a legitimate star player. And the implications for the team, the Western Conference, and the league as a whole are massive. According to all the top insiders, Shams, Bergstein, you name it, their Warriors have struck a deal to bring in none other than Pascal Siakam from the Indiana Pacers. This is the same Pascal Siakam who was a 2-time All-Star, an NBA champion with the Toronto Raptors in 2019 and one of the most versatile forwards in the league today. At 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan, he brings the kind of length, athleticism, and two-way ability the Warriors haven't had at the forward spot since Kevin Durant's departure. And for a franchise that's been caught between win now and develop for the future, this trade is the clearest signal yet. They're going all in. Here's the deal. As reported, the Warriors are sending Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Gary Toney, and an unprotected 2026 first-round pick to the Pacers in exchange for Pascal Siakam. That's a big price. Kuminga has been one of the most promising young wings in the league. Still just 21 years old with incredible athleticism and a rapidly developing offensive game, Moses Moody has been a steady, reliable piece with defensive versatility and three-point shooting. Gary Payton III is beloved in the Bay for his relentless defense, hustle, and infectious energy. And the unprotected pick that could be huge down the line if things go south. But this is the cost of doing business when you want to stay in the championship hunt. Now, let's talk about what Siakam brings to this team. He's a legitimate 3-level scorer who can run in transition, post up smaller defenders, face up and drive past bigger ones, and knock down the mid-range jumper. He's not the most elite 3-point shooter, but he's respectable enough that you can't just leave him open. More importantly, he's a playmaker. He can grab a rebound, push the ball up the floor, and initiate offense, which takes a ton of pressure off Steve Curry. Defensively, he can guard positions 2 through 5, switch onto guards in a pinch, and use his length to disrupt passing lanes. In Steve Kerr's motion offense, where ball movement and off-ball cutting are king, Siakam's versatility is going to shine. This move is also about urgency. Stephen Curry is still one of the best players in the league, but he's not getting any younger. At 37, the window for another championship run is closing. Their Warriors tried to thread the needle with their so-called 2-timeline plan, developing young guys like Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody while staying competitive. But we've seen how that's played out. Wiseman's gone. Moody's role has been inconsistent. Kuminga was just starting to pop, but he's still raw. The truth is, this team doesn't have time to wait for potential to turn into production. They need proven players who can win now, and Siakam is exactly that. So, what does this mean for the Warriors lineup? You can pencil in a starting 5 of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Pascal Siakam, and Draymond Green, with Kevin Looney likely rotating in depending on matchups. That's a group with championship experience, defensive versatility, and multiple scoring options. Off the bench, you've still got Chris Paul, assuming he stays to run the second unit, along with promising young guard Brandon Podziemski, big man Trace Jackson-Davis, and Dario Saric providing floor spacing. The depth takes a hit without Kuminga and Moody, but the top-end talent just got a serious boost. From a strategic standpoint, Seeum gives Golden State new wrinkles on both ends. Offensively, you can run him in pick and rolls with Steve, which forces defenses into impossible choices. Do you switch and risk putting a smaller guy on Seeum in the post? Do you hedge hard on Steve and let Seeum roll to the rim? Do you sag off and risk him hitting a jumper or finding an open shooter? Defensively, Seeum can play small ball center in certain lineups, allowing their warriors to spread the floor and switch everything. That's the kind of flexibility Gay loves. Of course, this move isn't without risks. Seeum is in the final year of his contract, and there's no guarantee he'll resign. Their warriors will likely look to lock him up long term, but if things go sideways and he walks in free agency, they'll have lost a lot for nothing. There's also the question of chemistry. Bringing in a high-usage player mid-season means there's going to be an adjustment period. Their Warriors system is complex and even talented veterans have struggled to adapt quickly. And while Seeum is a proven scorer, he's not a pure shooter like the Splash Brothers. So spacing could get tricky if Clay continues to decline. For the Pacers, this is a reset. They took a swing on Seeum to pair with Tyrese Haliburton and see if they could make noise in the East. It didn't quite work out at the level they hoped, so they're pivoting back to youth. Kuminga is a fascinating fit next to Haliburton, a dynamic, athletic forward who can slash, defend, and thrive in transition. Moody adds shooting and length on the wing. Gary Payton, is a defensive specialist who can help them set a tone on that end. And the 2026 unprotected pick could be a massive asset if the Warriors fall off post Curry. But back to the Bay because that's where the real story is. This trade is about sending a message. It's about telling Steve Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson that the front office still believes in them. It's about telling the fans that they're not mailing it in, that they're not satisfied with just riding out the end of this dynasty quietly. It's about one more push, one more shot at glory. And for a team that's already won 4 championships in the last decade, that hunger is what separates them from the teams that fade away. The Western Conference is a gauntlet. Denver has the reigning Finals MVP in Nikola Jokic. Minnesota is on the rise with Anthony Edwards. The Lakers are still dangerous with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The Clippers, if they ever stay healthy, have the talent to beat anyone. The Kings are hungry. The Suns have Booker, Durant, and Beal. And now you add a reloaded Warrior squad into that mix. It's going to be wild. Every playoff series is going to feel like a heavyweight fight. If you're a Warriors fan, you're probably feeling a mix of excitement, nervousness, and pure adrenaline right now. If you're an opposing fan, you might be groaning or maybe you're fired up for the challenge. Either way, buckle up because the Golden State Warriors are not going quietly into the night. They're coming and they just got a whole lot more dangerous. That's all for now, but this is just the beginning. We're going to be watching every game, every lineup change, every highlight reel dunk from Seeum in a Warriors jersey. This is going to be fun. So, get ready because the NBA landscape just shifted again and the Golden State Warriors are right in the middle of it.